Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the plastic and the elastic deformation. So first we have to understand what is the meaning of deformation. Deformation means when the shape of any object or any material has been changed or there has been some change in the shape occurred due to any reason is called the deformation. The change in the shape may be permanent or may be on the temporary basis. So on the basis of the time of the shape change, whether it is permanent or it is for some time, this deformation is classified into two categories, plastic and elastic deformation. A temporary change that is self-reversible after the force is removed so that the object return to its original shape is called the elastic deformation. It means when the force is applied on some material, then its shape has been changed because of that force. And when the force is removed, then the object returned to its original position by its own. This is called the elastic deformation. At the end of the force has been removed, the object returned to its original position, original shape. So this is called the elastic. Elastic, as its name suggests, is it has self recovery of its shape. Now the second type is the plastic deformation. When the stress is sufficient to permanently deform the object is called the plastic deformation. In case of plastic deformation, object does not return to its original position, but the change has been done in its shape permanently. So if we remove the stress or if we remove the force, then also the object does not return to its shape as it was earlier. The change is permanent, so this type of deformation is called the plastic deformation. Here is a graph between the stress and the strain. This will explain the plastic and the elastic deformation of any object very clearly. Here the graph is in the parabolic shape. Parabolic means first when the stress is applied, then when the strain is applied, then stress increases. But after a particular point, even if we increase the strain, the stress reduces. So firstly on applying the strain, the stress increases, and after that on applying the strain, on increasing the strain, the stress decreases. So the first part of that graph is represented by a perpendicular shape, that is rise and run, and this gives the Young's modulus. Young modulus means rise upon run, that is slope. So this part of the graph gives the slope of the graph. After that slope, we will clearly see a protruded image. And at this point, this is called the yield strength. After the yield strength, a parabolic shape of the graph is seen. It is categorized into three categories. First one is strain hardening, second is necking, and after necking the fracture portion is obtained. Now, what is elastic deformation? We have discussed about its definition. Now the question comes on the equation. The equation is given by Hooke, so then the law is called the Hooke's law. It This type of deformation is generally seen in case of elastomer. Sigma is equal to E epsilon. This is the sign of sigma. This is stress E, and this is epsilon. This is strain. and E gives the value of Young modulus, or we can say elastic modulus, that we read in the diagram. Then plastic deformation. What are the example in which cases plastic deformation is seen? Plastic deformation is generally seen in case of thermoplastic. Plastic deformation is characterized by strain hardening and necking reason. What happens in the case of strain hardening? In case of strain hardening, material becomes stronger through the movement of atomic dislocation. It means the atoms of the material has been dislocated or moved from their position, and now it is very difficult for a particular substance to reach to its original position because the atomic dislocation of the particles. Because the particles has been moved from their position, sudden decrease in the area of cross section is observed after ultimate stress, and this is called the necking. In the strain hardening, atomic dislocation is seen, and after the completion of atomic dislocation, the cross section area of that material decreases, and this represents the necking region. And when the necking region is achieved or completed, then the material breaks, and this is called the fracture. This is generally seen in case of ductile material. Ductile material are those material which are converted into fine plates or sheets or wire after beating. But when the material has been converted into a fine wires or sheets, then it does not or then it cannot be converted to its original position. It is very difficult or almost impossible to convert to its original position. Elastic modulus. Elastic modulus is a quantity that measure an object resistance to being deformed when stress is applied to it. For example, if we apply a stress to certain material, it will not say to force that to come and change my shape. It will resist to some extent that I will not change my shape. But when the stress amount has been increased to that limit, then it can't, and it will change its shape permanently. And the resistance at which level its shape will not change is called the elastic modulus. It is the slope of stress and strain curve in the elastic deformation region. There are some differences between the elastic deformation and the plastic deformation. As we know, elastic deformation is temporary deformation under the action of external force. But the plastic deformation is a permanent deformation. The material has been changed its shape permanently. Once the external pressure or external force is removed from the elastic deformed body, it again change its shape to the original. But when a body is plastically deformed, it retains its deformed shape even after the removal of external pressure. In case of elastic deformation, atoms of material are displaced temporarily from their origin. The return back of their original position after the removal of external load means in case of elastic deformation also the materials or the atoms of the material change their position, but on the temporary basis. But in case of elastic deformation, the change in the shape of atoms are permanent. Because of that permanent change in the shape or position of atoms, it is impossible for the plastic deformed body to again go back to its original position. Elastic deformation is characterized by the property elasticity. By definition, elasticity is the Solid material by virtue of which it tends to regain its shape after the removal of external load. While in case of plastic, deformation is characterized by property plasticity. By definition, plasticity is the property of the solid by virtue of which it tends to regain its deformed shape after the removal of the force. Amount of plastic deformation is very small, whether the amount of plastic deformation is quite high. External force required for elastic deformation is small. In case of plastic, the external force required is very high because it is never going to be easy to change any body to permanently by applying a little force. Energy absorbed by the material during plastic deformation is called module of resilience. The total energy absorbed by the material during elastic and plastic deformation is called module of toughness. Hooke's law of elasticity is applicable within the elastic region, whereas in case of plastic deformation, Hooke's law is not applied. Most solid material display a linear stress strain behavior when they undergoes in elastic region. Stress strain curve is non-linear, generally it is parabolic. Material first undergo elastic, then they convert into plastic. Mechanical property of the solid remain unchanged. Whether in case of plastic, many property of the material changes. Now the next topic is Haeckel equation. Haeckel equation is used to study the rheology of the powder. It is useful method for estimating the volume reduction under the compression force. According to Haeckel equation, bulk powder follows first order kinetic on applying pressure. It gives some equation to determine whether which type of behavior will powder show under the force. This is log 1 divided by 1 minus d is equal to Kp plus A. Here d is relative density of formulation, K determines the slope of Haeckel plot and P is the pressure. A is a constant for rearrangement of particle. On the basis of such type of information, materials are classified into three categories. In type A, they are comparatively soft and easily show plastic deformation. It means they don't require too much force or too much energy to convert them into plastic deformation. They are very soft. They can be converted very easily to a deformed shape. For example, sodium chloride. Here a graph is plotted between pressure and the value of log 1 upon 1 minus d, and a linear curve is shown here, but it does not start from the origin. Type B. The graph shows that there is an initial curved region followed by a straight line. This indicates that at the early stages of compression process, particles are fragmenting. They are usually seen in harder material having high yield pressure values. Here the graph is not linear from initial position. This non-linear graph, this non-linear part of the graph shows that the particles are fragmenting initially when the pressure was applied, but after that it shows a straight line. Then the next category is type C. In this case, the graph shows an initial linear region which becomes flattens out and by applied pressure or when the pressure is increased. First linear and then straight. On the basis of Haeckel, three types of particles was classified. Now, what is the significance of Haeckel plot in pharmacy? First, it is used to characterize single material. Secondly, it can be used for powder mixture. Larger K value indicate harder tablet. So we can select the value of K of the material. If the value of K of material is high, then we will not select it for a softer tablet. If we want to make some harder tablet for some purpose, then we will choose the material which have high K value. It is useful in selection of a binder during designing of a tablet. Which type of binder we are going to use, and the selection of the binder, the choice of the binder will also can be chosen by this type of Haeckel plot. And this was all about the Haeckel plot. Thanks.